With the US economy looking as bad as it is, it's not surprising to see an ever-increasing number of folks speculating that the US dollar will soon be replaced by other currencies from around the world. The most significant of these is the Chinese Yuan, which is now being used, quite surprisingly actually, as a reserve currency in different currencies around the world and will soon replace the US dollar. But some believe that Russia's ruble will become more left than the US dollar, and especially with Putin taking measures to ensure that this happens. Hey guys, and welcome to Econify. If you're new here, please subscribe and like all our videos to get fantastic content, and your suggestions and opinions are welcome as always. You can tell us what you think about our videos in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notified for any new content that we drop. And today we're going to talk about the US dollar and how countries like Russia and China are moving against it. It seems like they want to be superpowers. How cute. So without further ado, let's check out what Russia and China are cooking up. Since the end of World War II, the US dollar has served as the world's reserve currency, but if China and Russia keep piling on gold bullion, that might alter in the coming decades. Both nations are stockpiling gold, but unlike some speculators, they probably have some sort of economic strategy in mind. This means that China and Russia are moving away from being accustomed to emulating the US. They likely have traded on their currencies and gold reserves to conduct foreign trade deals. The steady drop in the dollar value makes it more expensive for the US government to sell and purchase goods from outside countries. The dollar is weak and it makes American goods less attractive to consumers in other countries because they are more expensive and less affordable than products from countries with weaker currencies like Brazil and Mexico. Chinese and Russian businesses currently need to buy dollars to conduct business with the United States because the US dollar is the only global currency that's accepted as payment on the worldwide market. So if China and Russia owned global currency, they will no longer have to buy dollars, which is a lot of money pouring out of the United States. And as everyone knows, China and Russia will go as fast as possible to avoid going bankrupt. Unfortunately, the effect this is having on the United States dollar isn't as pronounced as some would like you to believe. Many think Russia is destroying the US dollar through careful trading practices that most people don't even know exist. China and Russia are increasingly at war with the US. If you like, you could say that they're fighting a currency war, but they've already been intervening in foreign exchange markets for years to keep their currencies artificially low against the US dollar so that currency reports will be cheaper. But this has caused damage to the US economy by making Chinese imports more expensive at home. Both China and Russia have indicated that they want to stop intervening in currency markets altogether because it is causing too much instability in global financial markets. The billionaire folks in China have recently been converting their assets into foreign currencies. Now that's largely due to the Chinese government encouraging its citizens to convert more of their support from yuan to other currencies. The Russian ruble, on the other hand, has been plummeting on international currency markets over the past few months because, of course, Western sanctions imposed on Russia in response to meddling in Ukraine. As a result, many Russian citizens are converting their rubles into dollars or euros. There is even talk that if relations between the West and Russia continue deteriorating, Putin may prohibit Russians from holding any foreign currency. What happens when these countries stop using the US dollar? Would you be willing to give up your life savings for an unknown future? I don't know about you, but I'd rather not. But what are your thoughts on the current situation between Russia and China? In your opinion, should we be concerned about them? Imagine if the United States dollar suddenly stopped being the world's reserve currency. What would happen? In what ways might the United States evolve if it lost the option of simply printing more money to pay off its debts? What sort of adjustments would have to be made to daily life if the global economy suddenly adopted a new type of exchange? So many questions with even fewer answers. Sure, today might seem fine, but what about tomorrow? Maybe there will come a time when the United States loses its financial leverage over other countries and decides to strike back with whatever weapons it can muster. You could even think of cyber attacks as one means of attack. So we need to keep our eyes open for changes abroad, because we're just one small step away from losing even. The Washington Post reported that China and Russia had agreed to use each other's currencies to conduct trade, which would be a considerable blow to the US's economic dominance. This is just one of many recent examples of how China and Russia are working together to undermine the US dollar, and that's by using the UN ruble swap agreements, purchasing goods with golds, and investing in domestic production rather than US securities. If this continues, it may not be long before these two powerhouses cause a catastrophic collapse in the dollar. The petrodollar is under threat. It has been a reliable exchange system for international trade since 1944, but that is ending. One way China in particular has undermined the US dollar hegemony is by launching its oil exchange system dominated in Chinese Yuan on Shanghai's International Energy Exchange. This was just one of many steps China took to wean itself off the US. China wants policies in trade with other countries without using dollars as an intermediary currency. They also want their business with Russia to be conducted solely in their national currencies instead of using US dollars or euros as an intermediary. Along with creating their oil futures contracts, China launched a bond market for Russian rubles, which some experts saw as an effort to lessen dependence on Western sanctions against them, giving them access to capital markets where they could borrow against future revenues. During the recent G20 summit, Russia announced it would begin trading crude oil futures in rubles. The move will give investors who don't want to buy and sell through the US dollar trades a chance in Moscow's stock market, something not possible before due to a lot of sanctions. Countries like Iran have also discussed plans to open euro accounts and avoid having all transactions through New York banks because of US-imposed financial restrictions on Tehran. What's more, Russia has begun encouraging citizens not only to buy locally produced goods, but also to use domestic services like banking and retail stores wherever possible. China's economy has surpassed the United States' in recent years, making it the largest in the world. And the dollar's position as the international currency of last resort is weakening, and that means less respect from other nations. And additionally, international investors have been removing funds from the United States for some time now. So what does this mean for you? It means that your dollars will be worth less and less each year. So if you're thinking about putting your money into a CD or savings account or anything else, you may want to consider doing it sooner rather than later, because interest rates will only get worse as time goes on. On top of all this, China is creating its own international monetary fund, which would eliminate the need for the US dollar to trade with any country. What happens when the dollar loses value against theirs? Not good, I guess. So if you're not an expert at stocks, bonds, or some other type of investment, then it's best to talk to someone before making any drastic moves. If you still want to save your money but don't want it sitting in an account collecting dust, then maybe you can look into international stocks and see what they've got in store. These companies are often based outside the US, which can provide more protection from crashes like during the 2008 Lehman Brothers collapse. And finally, if you live outside the United States, then don't convert your dollars back home. Keep them where they'll go further, and probably avoid paying twice for them as well. So the United States is ironically in a state of decline. I guess that can be the 51st state. What do you think? But this isn't just because of economic factors or lack of innovation. It's because other countries realize that they don't need the US anymore. Not when they can get all that they want from Asia or Europe. And with China and Russia using their currency as a weapon at an alarming rate, that's only going to lead to more unemployment and less money for the beloved US of A to spend on infrastructure, technology, and many other sectors. So guys, we've come to the end of the video. Don't be sad, there's going to be more. And don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons, and remember to drop your comments. We will be dropping more videos soon, and as always, thank you for watching. I will catch you in the next one.